Jamie, I want to talk about the packaging side of things, because I think this one is a little bit shrouded in some mystery, because coming up with pricing for packages is definitely an issue for firms, because, how do you price it? What should each package be priced at? But let's go back to the start. Upfront pricing and packaging pricing are somewhat different, but in the same sort of ballpark. So how did you guys evolve to this fixed fee packaging model?
Yeah, look, I guess the history is years ago had different, coaches and various ones. I converted sort of the practice to upfront pricing for every client. And I went through that process, and we'll talk about that a little bit more with what we do with existing clients. And then we sort of moved to the model because of all the benefits that we discussed earlier around, cash flow, client management expectations, and a whole host of benefits. We block up whatever. We moved to monthly fixed fees and these packages. Even the benefits just presenting these packages to the client so that they knew exactly what, as a firm you could help them with. And so we came up with, bronze, silver, gold, and platinum. There's a whole heap of other, theories around you should only have 3 packages and all this sort of thing. And that's all fine, but you've got to do what works for you, and you've got to test and measure what works. So what we did, Brent, we came up with the bronze, and everyone can see what's in the bronze. We came up with the silver, then the gold. We developed our own sort of in-house product, which is just basically a dashboard that we called Sky Hub. And it just has the client's key performance indicators that we track for them, and they can access that anytime. So it was just like another product that we came up that was important to the client. And then obviously once, we were confident that we could do monthly board meetings, which most of the Wize Tribe members are probably doing now, and seeing the layout of the board meetings, the concepts that we teach in Wize are definitely applicable to your own clients who want to go to that next level, who want to grow their business, who want to have their business run without them, just like we all do. And that became the platinum. And so further to that, then as we developed and we worked out that we could do offshoring and set up a team offshore and make the bookkeeping profitable, then we wanted to add another layer to our pricing. And there's a couple of different ways to do that. You can offer a discount, as you can see there, on the price from 2,700 to 2,160. So we can then go to the clients and say, look, you know what, as a firm, we can do your bookkeeping as well. And so here's the prices. There's your price for your bronze, your silver, your gold, and your platinum. And all of a sudden, you can see the difference in the prices there. You can add the bookkeeping on, but what the benefit is, if you're doing the bookkeeping, by the time it gets to doing the tax return, you just get so much efficiencies because your team is doing the books. And often what would happen is we'd get a big write-up on the tax return because the bookkeeping was done
well.
Was just done the way that the accountant wanted it, I guess, is a simple way to put it. Look, the only variation I've had with my senior client managers is they've gotten rid of the bottom 4 boxes there. They've left the top 4 boxes, and they've just gone back to the client with a one-liner and said, well, we can do your bookkeeping for $50 a week. That's another one that works. And then the client just has to work out, well, hang on, well, maybe I just choose, bronze, and if they can do the bookkeeping for $50 a week or $100 a week, it's not hard to work out what your cost is. But what we experienced over the years, Brenton, is a small percentage of clients will take up gold and platinum, a very small percentage. But if you don't have that there, you'll never know that's what they want. Recently, we had a client who sold a perfume business, and they did 12 months of platinum before they sold the business. They wanted to prepare the business for sale. So they did 12 months worth of the platinum. But you know what? If we hadn't put that there, we wouldn't have realized that's what they wanted. So never assume the client won't take gold or won't take platinum. And for accounting firms, the bookkeeping is absolutely a fantastic one, particularly if you can get your offshore team set up, and then, the bookkeeping bolts really nicely onto the taxation work and the compliance work.
And have you found that some of the science has shown is that often people, if given, say, 3 or 4 options, like they normally go middle of the road as an option. So you're pretty much almost steering someone towards, say, the silver or the gold, because when given those multiple options, they normally select that just based on pure decision making. Have you found that to be the case?
Absolutely. Yeah, I've always found a lot of clients these days will take up the bookkeeping, and as soon as they say, that they're doing the bookkeeping themselves, you get into discussions, AGM, about, how you withdraw yourself from the business, or what's the first thing you withdraw from? It's administration and accounts. Then the question comes to be, okay, well, if you can earn $150 in your business, why are you doing your own bookkeeping when you know that's going to cost you $80 an hour? So I've just always loved, ever since we could do the bookkeeping and the payroll, I've always just loved that, to bolt that onto the packages to help the clients, get off the tools, so to speak, and grow their businesses and, work on their business more than they work in their business. So, okay. Yeah.
Jamie, how you got some clients who are smaller and then other clients who are larger. So how do you accommodate a client that's smaller to a client that's larger in terms of their activity, in terms of the amount of processing? Because these packages are fairly set, what we're looking at. So how do you accommodate the larger ones to the smaller ones?
So what you mean is, how do you know when to package a client that might only have, say, annual fees of $1,000 versus someone with fees of $5,000? Is that what you mean?
Yes, so you're processing their BAS, and some clients might only have 100 transactions to process, and others might have 10,000 transactions to process in that month.
Yeah, great question. So in the Wize Vault, what we developed over the years is a bookkeeping. I mean, there's two aspects to this, right? There's the bookkeeping side of it. And if you follow the bookkeeping calculator that we developed, the bookkeeping calculator lets you put almost every type of activity of bookkeeping that you need to do. And that includes reconciling transactions. It includes the volume of transactions. And it includes how often do you need to touch the file? Does the client want their bookkeeping done? Does it want it done daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly? Do they want the payroll done? Do they want you to look after accounts receivable and payable? So it's really, really important now that you scope out the job so critically so that you get this right, and you're not just shooting from the hip when you're talking about the pricing and the packaging. If everyone looks at the bookkeeping calculator that were developed in there, and not only that, Ed, you can choose the gross profit on that calculator, and it gives you what sort of like, the monthly cost is, because at the end of the day, you've got to make the bookkeeping profitable, and you can also put your cost in there as well, Ed. So it's just a quoting mechanism.
So is it fair to say for each proposal you send out, this table isn't static? It's based on, say, the size of the business. So the turnover between a $1 million business and a $10 million business, they're going to get different prices in the package.
Absolutely. Some of the industry commentators I know on their websites, there's only 4 packages and that's it. With us, we customize, every package, because every client is different. Every client has a different volume of transactions. We have a template in the Wize Vault that we've developed over the years called Who Does What? Because when you do the bookkeeping with cloud accounting, some clients get us to do nearly everything other than the invoicing. The invoicing is like the only thing that they do, because we can't do that. So it's a partnership. So at Sky, Ed, we customize these to every client based on the who does what and the scoping of when you price it and when you quote the job. Okay,
just to summarize what you've said, just so it's clear to people that are listening, what you see in front of you is representative of a average size client. Yeah, if the client's much bigger than this, obviously it's not going to be, like if you take the bronze one, it's not going to be $225 per month. It could be $450 per month.
$3,000 a month.
Yeah, $3,000 a month, and then that goes up as you go to the right. So as you go to the silver, gold, and platinum,
that's right,
go up based on the size of that client. So
exactly.
And of course, looking at this, if you're a client and you got offered, looking at that package, you're offered, on the platinum side is 8,700, and then on the bronze side is 2,700 a year. You would go, okay, I'll go middle of the range. It makes the silver one really cheap.
Yeah.
This is all part of the sales playbook and the psychology behind, pricing and sales.
Yeah,
absolutely.
One of the most important things in fixed pricing upfront and pricing, getting paid upfront or monthly fixed pricing, is the scope. We will walk away from the client if they don't give us read-only access to the file, if they don't give us the information so that we can actually price the job. Because, I always say to the client and the new clients and the prospects and leads, what's a builder need to quote a house, to do a tender? They need the plans. They need the plans done by the architect, and then we're happy to quote it. Because I reckon I've had less than 1% of the time a couple of leads come in and they won't give us access to the Xero file, and they won't give us a copy of last year's tax return. You know, so we just say, look, sorry, we can't do it. It's just too risky. You know.
Absolutely.